Feels like everything's set up. Trial, part 2. Here we go. I have considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury. Let me guess, you think the defense counsel's a little bitch. And I have determined the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. Yay. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman? We are, my lord. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of the crime. This is very important information. I have a feeling this judge hates me at this point. But anyway, judicial findings. The jurors' contentions. The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his. If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to the crime if the window was closed, can it? Dear me, it was only a little book, hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit. Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tidy bit of trouble. Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. Gave me the sneezes. Irrelevant. Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems. We had a fire at my place, gave me the sneezes. How is that relevant to the crime? With one notable exception, of course. Thank you. My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover, you must go through wine glasses like nobody's business. No one else was even at the scene to commit the crime. Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it can be argued any other way. You underestimate my power. Or something like that. That means, I'm afraid, that during this summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts. How? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here? Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman and how? Those 2 details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. And there I was, thinking this might be hard. Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it. Otherwise, this really will be where the trial ends. No pressure, then. It's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you are prepared, counsel? Yes, my lord. All right, Ryunosuke, focus your mind now. Here we go. Clearly, the key to this summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid. Or should I say, Mrs. Garadeb. We have a book that disappeared from the Garadeb's house on the evening of the incident. And the 4th book found in the victim's hand. Yep. There must be a way to link the two. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far. Whatever it takes. Very short career, this is only the 3rd case. Don't forget to keep an eye on Mrs. Garadeb and how she reacts, even to the things other people say. Can't be related to the crime if the window was closed.
Hold it!
Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case? Capability. Sorry, what's that? You'll have to speak up, lad. Could you tell us more about that fire? It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on the top, it did. What a sight to behold it was. You put candles on a cake? Was it some kind of devil worship? Oh, right, this is like old school, and he's from Japan, and blah, blah, blah. Of course not! It was an angel cake. To celebrate my birthday, obviously. It seems that's a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, I mustered all my puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown wrong somehow. Flames didn't go out, but candles went flying all over the room. I think you mustered too much puff. The furniture caught and everything went up. Whole place filled with smoke. Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. Fair. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold. But how did you catch a cold from a fire? What a fiasco it was. The grandchildren, bless them, threw water over me as they tried to put out the flames. And then, because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open all the windows to clear it. The windows. Biting winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave, it did. Got a terrible cold from it. Put me in hospital for a while. Won't forget that birthday in a hurry. devil worship all along. Something about this old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason. We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsume, could have attacked the young woman on the street. Well, yes. As well as how he or she could have done it. Once again, the jurors' statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary. I think you're going to need to pit them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation. Yeah. I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions. Just a connection might do the trick. Let's see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike. Winter house fires are dire. You have to open windows to clear the smoke. That's when the chill gets you see? But goodness, it can't be related to the crime if the window was closed.
Objection!
These two jurors' statements clearly contradict one another. They do? How exactly, counsel? Don't point at me again! I told you! It wasn't me! Eh? What's that you say? Speak up, lad. Speak up. Juror number 3. Do you see? Oh, me? See what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? Seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. Well, yes, of course. Because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, then you'd be mad just to not open the... Oh! Exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garadeb household. And Mr. Garadeb had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke.
Oh my!
Ooh. Oh, my hat. Tea like water, are you? Juror number 4. Do you have something to say about that? Mrs. Garadeb? Oh, dearie me. What is the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am? There was no implications. It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So, please, it's time to drop the pretense now. What is it? When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window? A marvelous question. A very helpful question. What? I beg your pardon. What are you insinuating? The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window. And what if we did? Oh, all right then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window. Which can't have been easy since I continue to give him a justly deserved book battering. Even though your house was on fire? Oh, you never stop throwing until the anger subsides? Be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise. Of course. I should have realized. A significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You've managed to establish the window was open. We simply must have that added to Mrs. Garrett's formal statement. Now that you mention it, yes, the window was open at the time. I'd clean forgotten, but it's true.
Hold it!
The fourth book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. Same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garrett told us he had been reading. Well, I really couldn't say. On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading? I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. And now you come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it, right? Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset? Did you just slap your fellow juror? Because I couldn't, you insolent little man. I didn't remember. Times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on, as well you know. I really don't. I barely noticed I was throwing a book, much less the title of it. Oh, someone has experienced a violence?
Excuse me.
Are you good there, my guy? What is it, juror number 5? You know something? I've remembered what it was. That memory I'd blocked out. Ah. It was listening to what this granny was saying, brought it all flooding back. Hey, you deserved that one, yeah. What are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Garrideb, or the maid, I'll have you know. Man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time. It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home after work, like. Put my hand in my pocket for the wages I'd earned that day, and I nearly died. It was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out. Oh dear, what a disaster. You haven't heard the half of it, boy. Oh? The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight, I've lost the day's wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear. Stuck into a wall next to me, it did. About an inch deep. No words, just terror. Smell it then, you know? God-awful stench of the Thames. I'm sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it? I'll never use the word lightly again. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it. Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined. Uh-huh. Yeah, the Susato takedown has nothing to do with this. completely refined and even-tempered. That is. No, I wasn't thinking that. Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. At least attack with honor, using a bow or the like. Attack? Who are you going to attack? Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think. We'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later, if I dare. Woman in a rage will hurl almost anything at you. Kitchen knife really brought that home to me. It was a novel alternative explanation. There were cakes. There probably would have been a knife to deal with the cakes. That's a novel alternative explanation. It is a knife flung out the... I think I actually brought that up during the last... I think I actually brought that up, is that a knife came flying out of the Garadeb house and stabbed the woman in the back. Completely accidentally.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection. Good grief. You mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once. Juror number 2, do you think perhaps this could be one such novel alternative? Oh, my. Whatever do you mean? An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back. What are you talking about? We've demonstrated that the fourth book, The Lion's Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime, originated in Mr. Garadeb's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object, besides the book, could have found its way from the Garadeb household to the street below. Eh? What's that now? After all, Mr. Garadeb could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4? What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole? I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps she's had a feeling this might be what happened. You listen here, you Eastern Gala? Stop using British slang. Okay. That's not even British slang, that's Australian slang. Technically, it is a type of bird, but in this situation, it means a moron, an idiot, a fool, even. As the foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. Give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house, but what? What was it? Really taking a big gamble here. It was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. I'm certain, at the very least, this warrants further investigation. All right, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that found its way from the Garadep household to the scene was a knife. It's a folding knife, so as it was flying, if it wasn't unfolded already, shook. Stabby stab. That is the...
Take that!
Juror number 4, Mrs. Garadeb. What? What now? I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before? Ah! But Lord Counsel, what on earth are you doing? The weapon that was lodged into the victim's back, man! I think you know exactly what I'm doing. My lord, remember, when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb were in the throes of an argument. And the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garadeb was hurling anything she could at her husband, who'd been backed up against the window. A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene. Can't seriously believe that. The book was found in the victim's grasp. What would you do if a book came out of thin air and landed right in front of you? I'd probably pick it up. Are you saying it flew out of the window and across the street to land neatly in her hand? Even my missus hasn't got a name like that. Yes, I admit, there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why we must not allow this trial to end. Not right now. Oh my. Ah! Mrs. Garadeb, your answer, please. Have you seen this knight before or not? Oh, ah! Did she just faint? I killed her! My lord! I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word, after all. Thank you, madam. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions. Mr. Foreman. I'd have to agree. Not that I think the granny did it, mind. Yeah, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either. All together now, ladies and gents. We did it. Yeah, you did. Good job. Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo. So, as a result of the defense's summation examinations, a number of jurors' leanings have changed. 2 jurors called guilty against 4 now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided. And this trial will continue. Yay! Now then, Lord Van Zykes, how does the prosecution wish to proceed? Prosecution wishes to go through another wine glass, apparently. This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. Like a corked wine, and the first few sips are bitter enough. But what follows is so repugnant it's good for nothing save the gutter. If I may, Lord Van Zykes, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke, to which I barely know how to respond. Let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourself better with the relative positions of those places being discussed. What do you mean by that? His angle this time. Between the crime scene and the Garadeb household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. It means that the distance from the Garadeb's house to the scene is some, 15 yards. Let me see. 15 yards. That's around 14 meters. 14 meters? That's a little farther than I'd imagined. And as you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted as having pretentious significance, the fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. Again, if a book landed near me, I would pick it up and go, what the hell is this? In other words, the smoldering book, wantonly hurled by the lady of the house, traveled some 15 yards to land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. I say she picked it up after it landed on the road. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? Let's see, the thing is, no. My conclusion is that she picked it up after it landed near her, and she went, the hell is this? And did the jackknife follow a near identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back? Oh, if she was like mid-bend over pickup and the knife went shut, I think I have a mental image of the crime now. This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. Listen, this is the series where you cross-examine an orca. I'm not expecting believable. There's nothing I can say to that. That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice. Mr. Sato? Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he? Oh no, he wound her up. Maybe let's pick our battles here? My lord, might I be allowed to speak? As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense, yes. Go ahead. The prosecution may consider the idea a fantasy, but what the defense here has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. As such, The court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. Sorry, I'm probably going to throw things off. I'm standing up to turn on the fan so that it's a bit warm in here. Yep. Alright, there we go. To that end, juror number 4, Miss Joan Garrideb, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination. Saints alive! A cross-examination of a juror? Order, order, order! This is highly irregular. Unprecedented for the member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand.
Objection!
Well, unprecedented. And unnecessary. Lord Van Zykes? There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's farcical theory has any truth to it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes. And we must assume they would be able to testify accordingly. What say you, witnesses? Yes, sir! Constable Rolly Beat reporting for duty, sir! Well, good morning, officer. Sorry for dozing until now, sir. I haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on my beat, sir. Oh, so heroic, these London bobbies. Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more. Oh, Rolly, my hero, you make me swoon. Very well, I hereby reject the defense's request. Oh. And order the witnesses in the stand to testify again. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative. I keep thinking I'm saying that right, but I'm thinking I'm saying it wrong. Alternative explanation of events. Yes, sir! Constable Beats report. He's actually going to be awake for this one. This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb. Believe me, a London bobby is good for his word. You see, sir, the windows on the top floor of the Garrideb house are top-hinged casements. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go and fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir. Oh, this is quite startling. Top-hinged casement windows. That detail was not in the police report, Constable. Yes, sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy. You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable. No, sir! Sorry, but what exactly is a top-hinged casement window? Oh, does it open like, out, like, as opposed to down or a slide, or... And you cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend. Obviously, I'm not that learned if I don't know what a top-hinged casement window is. Of course. Sorry. I found it, Mr. Naruhodo. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garrett-Ebb's room. Alright, I'll try. Windows. The window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house. I know how windows work. Okay, yeah, that's about what I thought. But as it's a top-hinged casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see. Glad you've rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature. It doesn't open all the way, there's like a stop. Is its stay, a middle bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount. Prevents it opening? This is all news to me. Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or knife were to have been thrown through the open window, it would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below. No. You see the problem, then? Good. Your education in windows is complete. I am so glad my education in windows is now complete. I know how windows work. There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road. That is, unless the window pane had been shattered, something we've discounted already. That can't be! Did you see that, Rolly? That young Japanese man just collapsed in agony. Oh, yes, my darling. I saw it. I saw how he crumbled before me. Oh, Rolly, you're so strong. How is this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet, and already my argument's been destroyed. Not fully. Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again. The court awaits your cross-examination. My lord? Oh, good. Another desperate situation.
Hold it!
Just press everything. You say that for sir? A very good question, sir. And the answer is this! Has the noble founding principles of the force written on it, as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty. He addressed that before, didn't he? Did he? I can't say I remember. I mean, it wasn't in the evidence, so... To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. That's what the job's all about. And that is why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you a Bobby's good for his word. Well, rubbing my tired eyes admittedly, sir. Oh, Rolly, you're so manly. Of course I am, my darling Patricia. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. I forgot about those two. None of this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb? Ah, I see, sir. You should have said earlier, sir. Yes, well, so could you answer the question? It was a waste of time then. Absolutely, sir. I will answer it to the fullest of my abilities, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb's domestic dispute can't be related to this case. Before I get into that, sir, just one thing. Yes? I'd very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard. So I hope you'll take back some tales of us London bobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles. I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I've only just arrived here. I mean, hey, I yeah, total of what, 3 days? So to that end, sir, I'd be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears. Thank you. I'll try. Constable Beat's warrant card has been entered into the court record.
Hold it!
Press. By which means you mean they don't open fully. Is that correct? Yes, sir! They're just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see, so they're restricted to how much they open. And therefore, anything thrown out the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall to the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. Here is the location where objects would have fallen. Yes, directly opposite the scene of the crime, on the other side of the rather wide road. It's been so hard for somebody to mention this top-hinged case thing before. Well, I have another question for you, Constable. And what would that be, sir? How do you know? Why would you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb's house is furnished with? Ah, well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday. Investigation yesterday, you say?
Excuse me!
Do you have something to add, Mrs. B? Oh, sorry? You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that? Oh, I was just remembering, that's all. We really were so lucky. Lucky? What do you mean? Well, of course I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we were just so lucky it didn't happen on Rolly's feet. So close, you see. Ah, I hadn't realized. Oh, yes. That street, Briar Road, that's the boundary between Rolly's Beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love? Constable Beat? Huh? Oh, yes, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with interviewing the occupants of the Garrideb household yesterday. Their house is on my beat, you see, sir. Really was cutting it close then. Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Gyaradev household is on your beat, does that mean the pavement next to it is as well? Outside Mr. Gyardev's house? Yes, ma'am. The pavement on that side of the road is part of my beat. I see. I was unaware of that. Just think, if the woman had been attacked just on the other side of Briar Road, we would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But that's the life of a Bobby, after all. Extraordinary people are Bobbies, tirelessly working for the benefit of all Londoners. Tirelessly. Do you know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Rolly for all his hard work. Don't you think so, my darling? That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it. Perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record. Leave it to me, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately. The case file's information has been updated. Now it's my turn, I think. Pressing.
Hold it!
I will press everything. According to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and was dark. Oh, but Rolly and I were strolling along, gazing at the night sky, looking for our lucky star. Sorry? The star that will guide us to eternal happiness. And it guide you to answer the question. The flaming book had cut across the sky in front of us. Would have lit up like a shooting star. If I'd seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Let Rolly be an inspector, I would have said. 3 times at least. Of course, what with the smog and everything, we can't actually see any stars. In short, are you trying to say that neither a book nor a knife crossed the sky before you? Yes, sir. That is correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir. Certainly seems like they're telling the truth. And then we saw the poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her. I did leave the scene to go fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
Hold it!
I press all the things, press all the things. You said you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer, is that right? That's right, yes. If it had been on Rolly's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course. Don't feel bad, my love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box on every beat. So Rolly told me the way, only I sort of got a little lost on the way. Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. Love is blind, I guess. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. Oh, please. So I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes? Like I said, my Rolly was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed. I was off duty at the time, of course, but a true Bobby is never really off duty, sir. the last thing, so we press
Hold
it.
it!
Nothing to report? That's correct, sir. Had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. Didn't fall asleep for a second either? No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. Swear to that on the yard's honor, sir. Really? That seems a little strange. Beg your pardon, sir? Strange, sir? Seems altogether regular to me. The current copy of The Lion's Pride was originally in the Garadeb household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time? Aha! Could it be a different copy, sir? One that just happens to be burnt as well? Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder. Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived on the scene. Is that so? Something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. I presume, at least partially, the quote from Mrs. Beat, oh, we're lucky it wasn't on Rolly's beat, because that's just like where it is. The two mysteries of how that knife ended up in her back and how that book ended up in her hand. Must be some common thread between them. Can I ask you something, please, Mr. Lawyer, sir? Yes, of course. What is it? You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell. What? I wasn't really. I mean, what's she doing? Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. Wasn't what I was thinking. You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am. I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you. No excuses. I don't want to hear it. My voice will be heard. My lord, you'll let me speak, won't you? Yes, Mrs. Beat. I'll allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes the path of least resistance is the sage one. That was a very loud mutter. I heard that! Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's word counts for nothing, does he? You will note my judicial assistant is a woman. Watch out, sir! I might let you get away with something like that, but my Rolly won't. Duly noted, Mrs. Beat. Please, I humbly ask you to continue. What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder? I know what I saw. My eyes never let me down. My sense of direction is a little off sometimes, though. So, just press the additional sentence. Mrs. Beat, nobody is questioning what you've told us. I saw it, I did. That evening, I saw it clearly. Little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back, slinking away from the scene. And I know what I didn't see as well. Didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky. All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction? Oh, yes. Well, that's just a little embarrassing, really. I'm always ending up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Rolly. He gets ever so cross. Constable Beat, is there a problem? Eh, no, sir. No problem, sir. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps? Oh, well, in a way, sir. Yes, sir. I was just remembering the same thing happened that evening is all. You mean Mrs. Beat lost her way on the night of the incident? Well, you see, I sent her off to find a police box in the next beat over from mine. But she was gone a fair bit longer than what I was expecting. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was gone a good 15. Oh, Roly, you're such a tease. Reason I was so long was because of the bouquet, silly. The bouquet? Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about? Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Roly's so romantic. He saved up for it with farthings and halfpennies he found in the gutter while doing his rounds. Yeah, how romantic! I'd forgotten all about it just now. Had you, my darling? Huh? Hmm? Oh, yes. But that was just between us. No talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise. Really? Oh, what was that all about? Constable Beat looked very obviously troubled during that exchange. It was probably the picking up of farthings and halfpennies in the gutter. I am afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruhodo. But I'm quite sure of one thing. We have to ask Mrs. Beat about the bouquet. Miss Beat, the bouquet you just mentioned. I'd like you to add details about it to your testimony, please. Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to. You keep your fat mouth shut, Mr. Zykes. Happened was, I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while. And he. Okay, no, I want to. You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime? Yes, that's right. Oh, I was so upset. When we ran over and saw it was a woman with a knife in her back, I was so shocked I dropped the bouquet Rolly gave me. It was in a dark spot where the streetlights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice it first. Then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on? Yes, and I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see? That's when I spotted my bouquet again. The funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all. In case you need reminding, Mrs. Beat, the victim is not deceased. I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road. Your husband, presumably? That's right. Silly me, I'd gone over onto the wrong side of the street. Although I'm going to blame the bouquet this time. I can't think how it got there. I really can't. So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite. Let me just have a look-see. And would I notice anything weird with the sound? Darn ad break anyway. Curious indeed. Isn't it? But the worst of it is, I forgot to pick the bouquet up again when we left the scene. That beautiful rose Rolly brought me. With that change from the gutter he spent so long collecting. By bouquet, do you perhaps mean this sorry, solitary rose? Oh, I think that's her bouquet. Oh dear. Oh, yes, yes, that's it. That's the bouquet Rolly bought me for our anniversary with old bits of change he found in the gutter. She keeps reiterating the bits of change he found in the gutter. Poor guy. Probably feels bad. Maybe just call it a rose. Tell us, Lord Van Zykes, where did you come by the flower? According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Garadeb household. In front of the Garadeb's house? Although it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case, since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare. Hmm. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Could I have it back now, please? Hmm. No, I think for good measure this rose should be added to the court record as evidence. Oh, the anniversary, quote unquote, bouquet has been entered into the court record. But it's a symbol of our love. I want it back after the trial. Do you hear me? I want it back. But rest assured, shall do my very best not to forget, Mrs. Beat. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment. Nothing strange to report on that front. There is something odd. How'd the rose end up squitching? How'd this end up? You claim, Constable Beat, there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be. What what do you mean to say? In your testimony just now, Mrs. Beat, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to that beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby. Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of that meager bouquet, if a single sorry bloom can be so described, no doubt it was blown in the wind across the street back to the gutter where it belongs. Meager? But if that were the case, why did Constable Beat not testify to the fact? No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beat swore to that on Scotland Yard's honor. But the bouquet belonged to me. It had nothing to do with the case. It was at the scene. It has something to do with the case now, doesn't it? That's why Rowley didn't mention it, I'm sure. No, because sadly, it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way round. What are you talking about? Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beat's bouquet is Mr. Garrideb's book. Mr. Garrideb's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here, on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here, on the opposite side of the road, in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beat's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime, on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here, on the opposite side of the road, in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb's house. There's no logical explanation for those things, unless someone deliberately moved them. What are you trying to say? I am trying to say that your husband moved stuff. Probably, if I had to guess, because if he hadn't, it would have been on his feet. And that would have caused problems. I mean, you said it was lucky. The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my Rolly's done something wrong. Don't you listen to a word that scrawny lawyer says. Wittering on about books and bouquets. Why should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is. Oh, good. Miss Garrideb's come around. You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Garrideb, but deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called, tampering, Mr. Naruhodo. But the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it. For a very subtle but compelling reason. Tampering? You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend, who would have possibly had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception? There is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person. Guess who? It's Rolly. Counsel, I must demand you substantiate this conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime? Obviously, there's only one person it could have been. Constable Rolly Beat. It was you. What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard? Who was going to an anniversary dinner with his wife. Which I think is a fair reason to want to. What nonsense! Why would my Rolly do something like that? It's no one straighter than my husband. No Bobby works more tirelessly for the people of London. Mrs. Beat, you said in your testimony your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it. You're making it up. It's all nonsense. It's all lies. What about that Japanese man with the whiskers? Bet it was him. He did it. If that was true, Constable Beat would have seen him do it. Oh. And, forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, was after the defendant had fled the scene. Oh, well. First you make accusations about the landlord and his wife, now you incriminate a policeman as well. Your accusations lack one very important thing. You claim the crime scene was tampered with. There is only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime: to hide something. That's right, he's right. My husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. Why would we have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense. You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering. And until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats. Constable Beat had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair. Mr. Naruhodo, have you managed to solve this mystery? Counsel, you have made a very serious accusation against a London police officer. If you're mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a lawyer will be irrevocably damaged. And with that stark warning in mind, explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering. Yes, my lord. Constable Beat's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide where the victim fell. Because if people knew, it would have been on his beat. Where the victim fell to the ground. That is what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs. What? Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Briar Road. We saw it happen, remember? It was right here. As if anyone didn't already know. Oh. So Patricia's sense of direction was used to bewitch her. Certainly what everyone has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all. Beginning to wonder where this tumultuous trial will end, counsel. If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing the crime actually took place that evening? Doy? Because I'm proposing the jackknife came from Mr. and Mrs. Garridebs. But that's on the opposite side of the road. I don't understand. On the evening in question, Mr. Garrideb's book fell directly down from the open window above. And your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself. Good gracious! Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place. Did they really? That's right. I saw it with my own eyes. It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was the typical London fog on the ground. Everyone was spilling their lattes. Sorry, I'm tired. I was 6.5 hours yesterday, you know? When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid, that was actually on the west side of Briar Road. No, that's not true. It can't have been. Constable Beat then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print, the victim herself, the 4 books, moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. Extraordinary. But the constable overlooked one thing. The bouquet! What did he overlook? The bouquet, I presume? Exactly. The prosecution told the court a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Lord Van Zyke said it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. Couldn't be seen in the dark, obviously. Which is why it was only the bouquet that was found in its original position on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond, Constable Rowley Beat? Oh, well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important? Oh, Rowley. It isn't true, is it? What that lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is, because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know. I had a dream. A terrible dream. All the things I did that night. Everything come out. Everything exposed. Only, it seems it wasn't a dream at all. Good golly! Well, that's different than good gracious. I'll give him that much. Order! 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 What on earth is the meaning of all this? Oh, Rolly, why? Why would you do something like this? Moving a corpse is a criminal offense, isn't it? Wishing the victim dead should be one too. I'm gonna just... Policeman will strive to preserve peace within his allotted beat. 20 miles. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they're discovered. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. That would be why. That would be why he... Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? It was his anniversary, silly. As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London town. I can't say so. What? I really am ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the Yard's reputation. For everything. I have a possible explanation. For why, on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason. How could you possibly know? You, a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman? Who hasn't slept properly in a month, and it was on his anniversary. And yet, Lord Van Zykes, it is this foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far. I believe it would be beneficial to hear the court, for the court to... beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please. Yes, my lord. I think you'd better show us some evidence. At once, my lord. England, Japan, makes no difference where you come from. Human emotions are the same. I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions. What gives away the motive? I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land, and I have only just arrived from Japan. Which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learned that through though honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example. Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on his beat in all kinds of ways. No doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly. But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special. Special? How? Have you not been paying attention? On account of this bouquet, my lord. Oh, yes. It was our very first wedding anniversary. Constable Beat had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal. When he and Mrs. Beat stumbled upon a crime along Briar Road. Along his beat! When he saw the shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of them. What must have gone through this man's mind? But, sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. This is the warrant card that Constable Beat offered to lend me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Aha! Constable Beat. Is that or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day? Yes. Everything you said. It's all right. So that's it. Was all to do with the boundary of your beat. Oh, exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat. Good gracious! Constable! Do you realize the gravity of what you've done? You realize the gravity of what would have happened if he hadn't? It was the first time since I became a copper that I'd ever cursed God. Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could still be lurking around somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. Got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying, what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why did this have to happen here? And why tonight of all nights? Why? It's a copper's job to guard the scene of the crime, so told Pat she'd have to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. It was then, when I opened my mouth to speak, it just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you'll have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right along Meersham Street and then... I'm... I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, Constable. I just wanted, just that one night, to take my Patricia out for dinner. Oh, Rolly. Just that one night. You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. And so you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction. Just across the street, to the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring Beats care. You see, I thought, well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see. I beg your pardon? Oh, of course he did. Otherwise, my Rolly would never have left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement. Ah, I see your meaning now. But God got me back for my sins, didn't he? That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat. Oh, no, Rolly, that was all my fault. I should never have dropped it in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Rolly. And can you tell us, Constable, how many books did you move from one side of the road to the other in total? Huh? Oh, 4 it was. Yes, sir. Definitely. 4. 3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsume, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the Garadeb household, of course. What made you place that book in the victim's hand? When all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean. Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. How you found it? What do you mean? When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. When something drops out of the sky in front of you, you're gonna pick it up. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. You sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, the victim was holding? Oh, yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir. Interesting. The 4th book's information has been updated. I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only the two people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. However, which way you looked at it, it had to be the fellow who'd run off that done it, I thought. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it all over the road would make a jot of difference. I I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it. My lord? Yes, Lord Van Zykes? I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Constable, you may withdraw. Yes, sir. Mr. Prosecutor, sir? What will become of my Rolly? What will happen to him? For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course. Please, don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late. Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired. All right then, my love. One last thing, Constable. Sir, let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you. Yes, sir. Carve that lesson in your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of a crime. Huh? Never again, sir. You mean to say... Leave. Now. This trial is not yet over. Uh, um... Sir! So, the Reaper of the Bailey has a soft spot, huh? Well, quite a startling revelation, I must say. Ever thought of a third party transplanting the entire scene of the crime like that? Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here. Principally, that the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume, is the only person who could have committed the crime. We're back at this point, are we? I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back. We are back to Mrs. Garadeb. Forgive me for being presumptuous. I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of this possibility already. Lord Van Zykes, is this true? Very well. Name the person, if you will. And if further investigation is warranted, the prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing. She was flinging stuff. She recognized the knife. It was right under the window. Give it up for Joan Garadeb! The defense would once again like to request the cross-examination of a new witness, my lord. Once again? My assistant made the same request earlier. In order to finally reveal the truth about this case, it is imperative we cross-examine juror member number 4, Mrs. Joan Garrideb. Me? Me? Oh, dearie me! That request has already been denied. But the situation is very different now. Mrs. Garrideb, answer me this. What do you want now, you little toad? At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Garrideb. In the course of the argument, a minor house fire was ignited. And to clear the smoke from the room, your husband opened a window that looks out over Briar Road. Well, what of it? You threw this book at your husband when he was cornered with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the open top-hinged casement window, the book plummeted directly down, finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident. Yes, and as I said, what of it? During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books, but anything you could lay your hands on. So, let me ask you one more time, Mrs. Garrideb. This knife, the one removed from the victim's back, have you really never laid eyes on it before? Huh? I don't recall it. Seriously? Am I supposed to remember everything I picked up and threw at my husband? Anyway, the man over there in all that regalia said that members of the jury needn't testify, didn't he? Conveniently, yes. No, I have no recollection of saying that at all, juror number 4. Oh, make no mistake, you jurors are not special in any way. You're not immune to the judicial process. If you know anything about this knife, madam, let the truth come out. But that's just a common or garden knife. Could have come from anywhere. We have several like that at home. If one went missing, how would you expect me to know? What's that? Are you joking? What are you saying, please, Mrs. Garrideb? You listen to me. I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I'd injured someone. Do you hear? Couldn't bear it. Oh, the poor woman. So, yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if you're going to insist on this being my fault. You're going to have to prove it to me that I threw that knife if that's what you think. Come along now, chop chop. Do your worst. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? If I had evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it at her already. What, the knife? Then take the stand, juror. Oh, the prosecution does not object to the defense's request to cross-examine this woman. Thank you, Lord Van Zykes. I'm going to have to testify? Juror number 4, as I'm sure you will appreciate, having observed it with your own eyes today, witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truths being unearthed. Truths of which the witnesses themselves may not have been aware. You know. Oh, dearie me. So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Mrs. Garrideb. Mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth. Do you concur, counsels? Certainly, my lord. Oh, That's what I'm hoping for, my lord. It's such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real. I'm here in the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer. Witness, state your name and occupation. Oh, yes, my name is Joan Garrideb, and well, I'm a juror and such like. Sounds like even she doesn't know if she's a housewife or a maid or what anymore. The court has decided your testimony is required in order to clarify matters in this case. Do you understand, madam? Yes, my lord. You will tell the court everything that took place in your household on the evening in question. And I warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth. Oh, dearie me. Chin up, Joni. Nothing to worry about now. Oh, I didn't know you were here, John. Wasn't only you in the room that day, old thing, was it? Rather think I ought to testify as well, don't you? But, but what about your knee, dear? Don't you worry about that. Hardly notice it. I'm not the sort of chap to leave a comrade to face disciplinary action alone. Oh, John. I presume you are Mr. John Garrideb? Yes, sir. Former second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment of the 4th Northumberland Fusiliers. Fusiliers. Words hard. Sir! Seen my fair share of action, and now living the quiet life, as it were. The quiet life? Were you not engaged in an incendiary battle with your spouse on the day in question? Oh, well, yes, quite. Testimonies. I believe this may represent a first in the proud history of the British court. Calling a juror to the witness stand is unprecedented. However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and that of your husband. You will recount clearly and concisely the events in your home at the time of the incident in question. Sir, at once! The Battle of Garrideb. On the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now. Uh-huh. Knocked a candlestick over and set fire to the carpet. Soon had it out, though, and got the window open. Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him. Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I'd notice if 1 or 2 went missing, I'm afraid. That bally thing in the victim's back really was one of ours. You'll have a job proving it, I think. Sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household that evening. Although an entirely one-sided assault, it seems. The enemy caught us on the hop, sir. No choice but to dig in and take defensive measures. To be honest, if the enemy had kept shelling us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Of course, veterans such as myself, it's only too aware that on every battlefield, you're just a gnat's whisker away from death at any moment. Are we still talking about a marital quarrel here? Well, I must say I'm dubious this testimony will shed any light on the origins of this jackknife. In combat, one's focus narrows such that surroundings are barely noticed. These witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end. Van Zykes may well be right. Whatever the chances, we only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth, Mr. Naruhodo. Very well, counsel. Begin your cross-examination. Well, I'm curious about what kind of items were being flung. Even though the room was on fire? As far as I was concerned at the time, it was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames. When a woman wants to throw, she must throw. It's most certainly not true of a Susato takedown, Mr. Naruhodo. How did she know I was thinking that? Please cast your mind back and try to remember. Was a knife among the items you threw at your husband that day? In all honesty, I don't recall. I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see. Some bread, a cabbage, garlic, a towel, and a sponge, a napkin, a pursuit. Do you have something to add, sir? Mr. Garrideb? Huh? Hey, don't shoot! Sorry, I beg your pardon. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind? Nothing of any significance, no. The barrage of projectiles the old thing launched in my director was somewhat more solid than she applies. Books, bricks, and the fire poker, I seem to recall. Ouch. Ouch indeed. And the woman's aim is uncanny. She landed a direct hit with everybody. Ah! Good grief, woman! We're not at home now. This is a court of law. Oh, dearie me. Ever so sorry, dear. What's she even doing with the teapot in here? Honestly, John, I would never have thrown such things at you. Obviously. Well, take a look at this, then. How do you suppose that happened, huh? Your pipe, sir? This thing in my hand, as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles, she did. Yeah. When I went to pick the thing up, it was broken in two. Like to do a sponge. I'd like to see a sponge do that sort of damage. Your pipe was broken. Never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. I've managed to bandage the thing up for now. Huh. You are one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear? I don't know what we should make of this account. Could be important. The defense believes Mr. Garrideb's remarks just now to be of great significance. This war veteran's words only tell us one thing. Betray a fiery wife, and pipes, as well as hearts, may be broken. Sentimental wisdom, perhaps, but hardly worthy of adding to the formal testimony. Indeed, common sense, one might say. Might one? In that case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipe, sir? Well, I don't see why not. Oh, dearie me. There you go again, trying to ingratiate yourself with a young lady. Very well. The court will accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence. Ta-da. I hope I didn't speak out of turn, Mr. Naruhodo. I was just feeling rather disappointed for you that your request was turned down. Oh no, it's fine. Thanks to Sasato-san, we have some new evidence to work with. We should examine it carefully. Doesn't look like it was broken in half. Unless that's where it was broken. See, the clean in half, my brain went like the bowl of it. Suppose it must have considerable sentimental value, given he's gone to the trouble of repairing it like this. Either that or he can't afford to replace it. Oh, what's that? That's odd. Oh, something just twinkled inside the chamber of the pipe there. Yes, I saw it. Something's stuck in there, I think. Let's turn it over and give it a shake. What's this? It's a tiny fragment of metal. Looks like the tip of a blade or something. The tip of a blade? Surely it couldn't be. Shwoop. Oh. Look here, Mr. Naruhodo, just at the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing. Wait, part of it's missing? I could be wrong, but I've just got a feeling. You remember this? Ah, that's the tiny fragment of metal we found inside Mr. Garrideb's pipe. And just maybe... Oh my, it's a perfect fit! Somehow, I just knew it. Well, thank you for that rebuttal, Mr. Garrideb. Now, if we could return to the crux of the matter. Tell me about the knife. You'll have a job proving it, I think. A fairly easy job, now that I have some evidence. Mr. Garrideb, could I ask you to take a good look at this, please? You can ask, but I can't see a bally thing. You can't? You used to call me Dead-Eye Deb back in the regiment, of course, but that was some time ago now. Even when I'm trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days, I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q, to be honest. Oh, he does. Dearie me, it's rather wearing being asked about every other letter in every other word. You must D very dizzy. What is that? Tiny scrap of metal? Yes, almost certainly from the tip of a blade. And what may appear to at first just be a tiny scrap is in fact a crucial piece of evidence. Interesting. And where did the defense come by this evidence? It was lodged in the chamber of Mr. Garrideb's pipe. My pipe, you say? By Jove, I wonder how that got there. What precisely does this fragment of metal signify, Counsel? Are you suggesting it is in some way related to the matter of the stabbing on Briar Road? I am. What? When put together with another piece of evidence already in the court record, I believe this tiny fragment of metal will unravel the whole truth of the case, my lord. You appear rather confident in that extraordinary statement, Counsel. Very well, then. Present the pertinent evidence to the court. What evidence, when paired with this fragment of metal, allegedly reveals the truth of this entire case? This is the knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look closely, you'll see there is a small piece at the tip of the blade that's missing. A common issue with inferior blades sold at unsavory street markets. Criminals who use them regularly leave the tips lodged in their victims' bones. And what of this particular knife? No doubt its tip has suffered a similar fate, now languishing somewhere near the spine of the victim. No, that's not the case. The tip of this particular knife's blade is the very fragment of metal we discovered in the chamber of Mr. Garrideb's pipe. Good grief, Lord Van Zykes! I don't believe it. The knife from the crime scene and this fragment of metal are a perfect match. Good golly gosh! Order, order, order! This some sort of Eastern sorcery? This is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle. A miracle? So Van Zykes has figured it out, has he? Counsel, explain this extraordinary coincidence at once. Yes, my lord. The crucial point we have to ask ourselves here is, when did the fragment of metal find its way inside Garrideb's pipe? Something that was clarified for us in the most recent witness testimony. This thing in my hand, as usual, at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles, she did. Yeah. Would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Oh, dearie me. During the argument between these two that occurred just as the victim was on the pavement below, Mrs. Garrideb flung this knife at her husband. However, the knife missed Mr. Garrideb, instead striking the pipe in his head at the time, which caused the tip to break off, of course. Good Lord! Yes, and that is when the tiny tip of the blade found its way inside Mr. Garrideb's pipe. The chances of that are 1,000,000 to 1! Yet there's no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then, after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out of the open window. Ah. In short, this knife, which fell from the window of the Garrideb's house, is the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back on the street below. Oh gosh, oh dear, oh. No! She's on a box. A full-bodied theory, I'll give you that. Complex bouquet of seemingly trivial points, plausibly arranged to create almost passable vintage. Allow me to toast my learned friend's characteristically Nipponese approach to bottling his argument. Sorry? But after all, it is just a theory. A game theory. Sorry. The bottle, I fear, is corked. Because you see, it's spoilt by an insurmountable inconsistency. An insurmountable what? Lord Van Zykes, explain yourself. What is this inconsistency you claim to have identified? An inconsistency of the simplest nature, my lord. The victim was found with the knife planted in the middle of her back. Yes, in her... Ah! That's right, you silly little man! I say the victim was bending over to pick up the book, and then the knife came out the window. Did you have to slap your husband about this, though? Now, Joan, old thing, what are you getting so excited about? Let us consider the basic facts of the case once more. Victim was walking along the pavement before being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. The knife that struck her had fallen from above. He has to buy those glasses in bulk or something. There's no possible way it could have planted itself into the victim's back. There's a very possible... Calm down. There's a very possible way. Mr. Naruhodo. Order. Quite right. You see, that's exactly right. If the knife had fallen on her from above, it would have struck her on the top of her head. Can we stop slapping your husband, please? Well, he's lost for words. Look! I knew it. I never liked his theory in the first place. I don't know, though, what really did happen. It would appear the defense has made rather a spectacular blunder. If a theory has even one inconsistency, it cannot stand. Your theory, my learned friend, is history. No. We were so close. I could see the truth. I was so sure we were on the right track. But now the way has been blocked completely by just one simple inconsistency. Or in other words, we simply need to eliminate that one inconsistency, and the theory will stand. Mrs. Sato? You mustn't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. You were just caught off guard, that's all, and your mind went blank. But if the path you were on is indeed correct, then a way will present itself. The key to this is in the court record, I'm sure. All the information you need is there. Seems you have nothing to say, my Nipponese friend. Well, your silence speaks volumes. A tacit acceptance that your theory is fatally flawed. No. This inconsistency doesn't mean I was on the wrong track. It means I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper for the truth. It's a test. Yes. If the knife fell on the victim from above, there's no way it could have hit her in the middle of her back. Under normal circumstances, that is. What are you implying? Counsel? There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can explain this inconsistency. Can explain how the knife that fell from above could have pierced the victim's back. We already have the answer. Goodness. Utter madness! Surely this must be the last time. Counsel, present the evidence of which you speak. It's the last inconsistency, the final piece in the puzzle. If I can successfully make sense of this, the truth will be laid bare at last. The evidence that explains how the falling knife became lodged in the victim's back is... if something falls on the ground in front of you, you're going to bend over and pick it up, wondering what it is. And the victim was holding this. This, the fourth book found at the scene. This is the final piece of evidence the defense will present. The burnt book? That's not Mr. Garrideb's book. Yes, and to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene in the first place. Photographic print clearly shows the book in question, and the victim holding it in her hand. But as we all now know, was the police constable that put the book between her fingers like that. Quite so, as part of his wholesale transplanting of the crime scene to the opposite side of the road. Wholesale transplanting. He put it that way because they found it that way. That's true. However, as part of his testimony, Constable Beat made an extremely enlightening statement on that point. What made you place that book in the victim's hand? Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. In other words, the victim had already picked the book up of her own volition. Clearly, that must have been before she suffered the knife wound. I should say so. For being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she'd have been doing much of anything. So the question becomes, why did the victim have that book in her hand? By jingo! Not gonna ask. I think I'm beginning to see what may have happened now. Oh, dearie me. We know the book fell from the top floor of the Garrideb household onto the pavement below, at precisely the moment the victim was walking past. Yes, at exactly that moment, the young woman was walking along the street in the light fog, when all of a sudden, a book fell right in front of her. The book I threw. Yes, Mrs. Garrideb. What do you think the woman did? What would you do if you were walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement? Well, I really can't imagine it, but I suppose she might have reached down and picked the book up. Yes, that's exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book. Oh, heavens! And when the woman reached down to pick the fallen book up, what position would her back have been in? That's right, facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. Then, in the very next moment, while the woman was still bent over picking up the book, knife. The next object fell from the room above, the jackknife, straight into the middle of her back. And at that same time, Walking by chance directly behind Miss Green was the defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Well, I never. It appeared to Mr. Natsume sorry, I was checking something. That the woman simply collapsed on the floor. In the dark and the fog, he didn't see the knife falling on her from above. Ah. In other words, Miss Ma'am, you accidentally stabbed someone. And from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker. So there never was a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place. No, this was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in an unfortunate accident. And that is the real truth behind this case. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett, the very first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wondered if perhaps it might have been something like that. There, old bean. Poor Mrs. Garrett. Of course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but it's all my fault, wasn't it? I take full responsibility. I let my anger get the better of me. I threw that book, and I threw the knife as well. John, dear, it's all right. I know. I'm ever so sorry. Truly. I'm sorry. Oh, and there she goes again. Oh, he caught her. He's struggling, but he caught her. Lord Van Zykes, what news of Mrs. Garrett? She's been taken to the infirmary. It would appear today's events had left her in an especially flustered state. If I found out I'd accidentally stabbed someone. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There is no cause for concern. Yes, unbeknownst to themselves, they caused what could have easily have been a terrible tragedy. They shall have to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions. There is some good news, however, my lord. I've just had word from the hospital where the victim is being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will regain consciousness soon. Strange. We've been talking about the victim all this time, but we've never once met her. How wonderful. The woman is out of danger, it seems. Yes, that is good news. So, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Yes! On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take this opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our great British culture, and have been repaid with immeasurable unkindness. please accept our heartfelt apologies. No, it is me who should be begging your pardon. Oh no, Mr. Natsume. That evening, when the young woman just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes, I jumped to the wrong conclusion again, in my confusion. What conclusion, sir? I was sure the woman was dead. Constable Beat said the same thing, didn't he? He thought she'd been killed too. Suppose she must have looked completely lifeless. It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain now, but I still can't get used to life here. I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits lurking in the fog, like they're haunting me. Poor Soseki-san. His imagination really has got the better of him. Yes, poor man. So when it happened, I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. Should never have dropped my books like that and run away. I should have called for help, for a doctor, for the police. Instead, I've managed to create a rift in the relationship of trust between our two empires. And for that, I am truly sorry. One could indeed say that some sort of mischievous spirit has been at work here, I think. One that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We were befooled by this spirit and led to fake conclusions. But thanks to Lord Van Zykes and our young lawyer hero from the East, here, not hero, that chain has now been broken and the spirit exorcised. I heartily commend you both. Oh, he doesn't look happy about it. Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Yes, my lord. In concluding this trial, I must ask one last time for your decisions regarding the defendant's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court? As the foreman of this jury, I can assure you we've reached a fair and just conclusion. I do declare the truth can be extremely cruel at times. I didn't suspect the woman next to me, that's for sure. Sitting in for the old bean while she's out of action, you know, but I know what her decision would be. Does this mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and start work? It's about time! I say, I'll have a corker of a story to tell the grandchildren when I get home, won't I? Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby demand your final decisions. Mr. Foreman? Very well, Mr. Soseki Natsume, I hereby pronounce you not guilty. Success. Confetti. Hurrah! And finally, Mr. Natsume. Oh, yes, Lord, sir. You are now a free man once more. It is my hope that you will continue to further your education in British culture. And may you never again be brought before me. Oh, yes, sir, of course. On my life, I swear I'll never set foot in a courtroom again. I'm transported to tears. Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned. 20th February 317, Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Oh, locum. Wait, you mean me? Of course! Is there another locum here? Is there even one? Compared to the original locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it? What's wrong with using my actual name? Oh, at last, I'm free! I'm free! Joyful, joyous, jubilant jubilation. Heady, hearty, happiness, hurrah! Oh, I am pleased. Mr. Natsume is delighted. Would it be so hard just to say that, then? Locum, you did it. You saved me from the brink. Well, what happened to the poor woman was in no way your fault, after all. Just glad everyone can see that now. No, 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 not that! Lovely, loyal, locum lawyer! Yes? I mean, as I said before, I've just never got used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners. I see towering brick buildings. And from high up windows, I see them looking down at me, laughing. Look at this little hunchback. Oh dear. I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Natsume. But today, you, locum lawyer, gave my gloom the boot. You stood firm behind that baronial bench before all those babbling British. You battled to the bitter end, laying bare the baffling truth. The alliteration is a little much. And when I beheld the blinding fireworks among the beams of the Bailey's roof, I bellowed, "Behold the best barrister ever born!" That's very flattering. We're very pleased for you. This has given me a wonderful anecdote to recount to my old friends back in Japan. An anecdote? Is that what's to become of all my hard work? Ah, there you are, my dear fellows. I apologize for keeping you waiting. I rose late this morning. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, what a pleasure to see you. I see I am here not a moment too soon. A disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say. Oh, the trial shall begin presently, Mr. Naruhodo, and I wish you the very best of luck. A little late on that, my dude. It's just finished. What? No! Then my haste was in vain? It's you. Hairlock Sholmes. Oh, have we met, sir? This is Mr. Natsume, the man you had arrested, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first. Our previous encounters have taken place in the gloom, either of your bleak lodgings or that prison cell. I simply couldn't place that curious face in the light. Charming. This is all your fault, Hairlock Sholmes. You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. My apologies, sir, but I assure you, I have placed you now. You're the fellow who abandoned that poor young lady and ran off, are you not? Ah, had she been taken to the hospital more urgently, I feel perhaps she would have regained consciousness by now. Oh, but it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We are but human, after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience. I do feel very badly about how I behaved. Well, never mind. Now then, what was it that you wanted to say to me, sir? Nothing. Priceless. Oh, I am sorry, really. But that was quite priceless. Poor Soseki-san. Still, on the bright side, you've had an extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. And it would seem you were not even found guilty. There is no bright side. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Natsume? Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits. And now by the Reaper! Ah, Lord Van Zykes. Haven't forgotten, what facing that man in court means. Even if you're found not guilty, you're still doomed. It'll be all right, Mr. Natsume. Hmm? The Reaper appears trying to make trouble. I'll protect you. Did you have to demonstrate on me with a perfectly executed Susato takedown? Much as I like being turned on my head, a bit of warning might be nice next time, Miss Susato. So, Mr. Natsume, what do you intend to do now? Mentioned something about recounting your experiences back to your friends in Japan. Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon. Oh, it has already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I've visited universities, libraries, bookshops. I've been honored with the tutelage of professors. I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here and the city it has shaped. And I've come to realize that it is my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it. That's very touching, Mr. Natsume. Or perhaps in less veiled terms, you wish to withdraw halfway around the world to escape the terror of the Reaper's curse. That's not it at all. The more I learn of literature, the more this strange feeling claws at my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen a work of my own. Oh, I see. Work of literature by Saseki-san. Could be an interesting read. And what about Miss Susato and yourself, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry, what about us? Will you return to Japan alongside your mustached compatriot? Why would we? A week has not yet passed since we arrived in London. Only now does it feel that we found we have finally found our feet. And you are accommodated in a hotel at present, are you not? That's right, but we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us. Calculated we can only afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted. Well, then you could take my lodgings. Oh, the windowless room. Ah, but what it lacks in windows, it more than makes up for with a floor, a ceiling, and walls. Great. And of course, I'd be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit. An evil spirit? Oh, yes. It tries to suffocate you while you sleep. It's an infallible wake up. The cat! Infallible wake up call. Well, think about it, if that's all right. Perhaps I can offer a more welcome alternative. Would you consider taking lodgings with me? Really? Well, a vacancy has conveniently presented itself, though it is up in the attic, I might add. You sure it isn't just a storage loft? I spoke with the landlady this very morning on the matter of price, and Iris is cleaning the room as we speak. You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to speak of. Oh, this is simply wonderful! What an honor to be invited to taking lodgings in the great detective's office's attic. I'm I'm too overcome for words. So suggesting we look elsewhere is out. Then it's settled. Iris will prepare a welcome dinner this evening. And you must come too, Mr. Natsume. I insist. I I I don't know what to say, but thank you. And yes. Wonderful. I'll go complete the paperwork for your formal release, Mr. Natsume. It shan't take long. Somebody's happy. Locum. Yes. Hello. That's me, apparently. I knew you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London. Likewise, Mr. Natsume. It's been a privilege meeting you two. It's a shame we're going to have to say goodbye so soon. Well, I've come to realize I belong in Japan. But Locum, we'll meet again one day. Yes, I'm sure. And hopefully by then, I'll be a successful lawyer. Hopefully by then, I'll be a successful author. Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I have little doubt Mr. Natsume will be released in time for dinner this evening. Especially with the ever-efficient Susato. With Soseki-san's innocence successfully established, we rode with Mr. Sholmes to what was to become our new home, 221B Baker Street. Loading. 4:41 p.m. The attic room. A little crowded, but it's not bad. So this is to be our new office. Yes, our office. Rather like the sound of that. Me too. It's simply wonderful, isn't it? I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It's only a small step. I'd like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now. So, my dear fellows, do you like the place? Okay, yeah, it's weird seeing you without the hat. It is weird seeing him without the hat. Ah, Mr. Sholmes, yes, thank you so much. It's a delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore it. Good, I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you. I hope everyone's hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. We'll eat as soon as Mr. Natsume arrives. We have a lot to celebrate. Iris, you must let me help you. All right then, Susie. You can be in charge of the salad. Splendid. So, Mr. Naruhodo, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital? It's very exciting, actually. can't help wondering what adventures await us. Those were precisely my sentiments when I first established my offices at this offices as the premises. It's fine. Until I discovered the dark truth about the city of London, that is. Oh? Sorry? London is a glorious place, full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity, and mirth. But the brightest of light casts the darkest of shadows. Alright, Mr. Kingdom Hearts fan. Shadows? What do you mean? I I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. The reason I said Mr. Kingdom Hearts, man, is in Kingdom Hearts 1, when you're in the dream type thing, uh, it's like, be careful, the brightest lights cast the darkest shadows, and then you have to fight a giant heartless version of yourself. So once again, Mr. Naruhodo, welcome to London. Of course, at the time, I had no idea of the significance of those words Mr. Sholmes so casually spoke. But it wasn't long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it. End. And I got an award. Yay! I will be wrapping the stream here because the end of the case is a fantastic place to end the stream, isn't it? So, I will be wrapping up here. I will be back next time with some more Persona 5 Phantom X. And, yeah. And next Friday, we will start the adventure of the unspeakable story. Sounds good. Okay. See everyone next time.